Hey, James, let's cover how to do this. I just went over this with a student as well, and I can show you how to do it real quick. Hopefully it will make sense when I do it this way. So you're given this triangle here with that A is 12 and this angle is 5. Here's the gig. This is showing that A is 12, but this is not A as in adjacent. This is just representing this side. So what would help you is if instead of using A, B, and C like this, you put in the numbers and redraw the triangle to represent what's actually happening. They're telling you A is 5, so I put it as 5 degrees. They're telling you that this side is 12, so I did that as well. Now I'm going to ignore my triangle and look and see what I'm dealing with here. I want to know what this angle is. I want to know what this side is here. And we already know that the name of this side is the hypotenuse. So I'm going to label that as my H. We're going to have to find that as well. All right. To find this angle, this part's easy. To find this angle, all you need to know is that all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Okay. So that means this one's 90, this one's 5, 90 plus 5 is 95. And I just subtract that from 180 and I get 85. So this is 85 degrees. Now, you're not going to use that when you find these other two sides. Do not use anything you calculated to get an answer to solve any of these, ever, ever, ever. Just use what I'm giving you. So now you can go write in your MyOpenMath that angle B is 85, and it's already got the degrees written out for you. But that's your answer, okay? Let's find the hypotenuse. Let's do that first. So what is this side in relation to this angle? It is the opposite. So that means that O is equal to 12. So we've got O is equal to 12. We've got, we don't know what H is, and we've got our angle is 5 degrees. I only want you to use these three trig functions to find the missing side. So my question to you will be, which one of these has both O and H? Because you have to have both of them in this trig function. The only one of these three that has O and H is sine function. So we're going to use sine of theta is equal to O over H. Sine of the angle is 5 degrees. Do not use the one you calculated, because what if it's wrong? Then your numbers are wrong. And it's O, which is opposite, over hypotenuse. Okay. Now we're just going to solve for moving it over here so all the rest of this stuff is out of our way. There we go. Maybe a little bit. There we go. I need to solve for my hypotenuse. So how am I going to do that? It can't be in the denominator. Pause the video and think about what you're going to do. Okay. And then come back and let's talk about it. So what I do is I'm going to multiply both sides because H is divided into 12. So I'm going to multiply both sides by H so that I can get rid of it. And I get H, the sine of 5 degrees, is equal to 12. Now what am I going to do to solve for H? Who's attached to H and how? And then how you're going to get rid of it. Pause the video if you need to think about it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide both sides by sine of 5. All right. Last piece for this step. Make sure your calculator's in degrees, because we're dealing with degrees and not radians. Go to mode, go down to where it's radians and degrees. If degrees is not dark, it needs to be. So you would let's just assume my radians is highlighted. That means you'd go over degrees and hit enter, and now we're in degrees. Clear it, and now you can just put 12 divided by the sine of 5 equals. So H is 137.68, but we're going to round it because they want us rounded to the 1 decimal point, so 7. You are not going to use this H and try to use the Pythagorean theorem to find your A. Just use what you were originally given. Now we have O and we need A. All right, so which one of these up here has O, opposite, and adjacent? Because we're looking for the adjacent side. All right, that's going to be tangent, O over A. So tangent of theta is equal to O is 12. We're solving for A. Pause the video, go do this on your own now that you've seen how I've done it, and then come back to check to see you got the same thing I did. All right, so we're going to solve for A. I'm going to multiply both sides by A. And I get, now I have to divide both sides by tangent. And I get A is equal to 12 divided by the tangent of 5 degrees. And I got 137.2. Quadratic might have worked, but it's not going to all the time because you're rounding. Do not use numbers you get to calculate the other side. Only use what you're given. Fewer mistakes. If you have any other questions, let me know. That should get you through, I think it's numbers 1 through 6 in your homework for this section. Keep the questions coming, or 3 through 6 or 3 through, I can't remember exactly. Let me know what other questions you have.